Hello everybody, this is Kevin with Inspiring How You See That. We're the inspirational channel that goes behind the scenes, interviews some of your favorite artists, entertainers, and much more. So we're back with another Tech Tuesday, and today we're going to be talking about the Creality printer, the CR6 Max. Like I said, this does cover printers across the board that are 3D printers. Most of them are all pretty much equivalently the same. But we wanted to cover a couple other questions that we had and kind of move forward with a couple of the past videos that we told you that we were going to be producing here to let you know about the filament and the tips. So make sure you do like and subscribe to these so that way you'll get notifications when we do put out the next and new ones. So this is the CR6 Max 0.4 head tip, and what we were talking about, and we'll go to that next slide here. The last one we were talking about was the filament here. As you see, when you pull it through, preheat it. So if you're, for example, putting in new filament, we wanted to tell you how to trim this. This is pretty much a crucial part. So if you put in this filament here just like this and then shove it back through, it will get plugged. And because this little feed where you've preheated and pulled it through correctly, this will actually, when you push it back through the tubing, will jam. Sometimes it'll ball up and then it'll get jammed down in here and you'll have a big issue before it goes through the actual end tip, and then it'll all ball in there and sometimes dry, and you pretty much have to pull apart everything. But we wanted to tell you here, and some of the tools, you'll want to get some side cuts here and actually make sure they're very sharp. And when you do trim your filament, you'll want to take it, and as you see here, we have some filament here. You'll take it and you'll want to make sure to cut it to the side at a side angle. So you'll cut it and then you'll hear it once it's cut, and then it's good, ready to go. So you'll want to have a side angle cut. So then that way when it feeds into your tip, which is kind of hard here to see the tip, we'll go to the next screen so you can kind of see the tip. Okay, so we're on the next screen, and this is one that we actually used before and showed you some of the clogging of the filament, but that's some of the filament going into the tip. But since we have trimmed this, you'll want to just put, feed it through. And this is just an example right now, and I'm showing you, I have a tip in my hand here. It's a 0.4 tip, and when it feeds through, it will actually literally go through and feed through that tip. And it will, when it pushes through, then when you're doing your feeding, you'll just want to push it through and then keep feeding it, and as it goes through, it will feed, and then as you see it come through the end of the tip, you'll know it's feeding correctly. If it does not come through the end of that tip and you're pushing on it and trying to feed it, or some of your printers, depending upon what printer you have, may actually have a feed button that allows it to push it through to feed it, so that way you can extract the filament to make sure it's working. But you can also manually do this too as well. If that does not work, then you do have an issue, and you can kind of revert back to one of our other videos that does have some tips in cleaning all this out and getting that clog out if there is a clog. But that's how you trim your filament. Make sure it is trimmed correctly, because if you do not trim it correctly and then you just try to push it back through, it just won't work. If you've pulled out old existing filament, you've got to make sure that it's trimmed and it actually fits back through the tip properly. So we hope this video helps, and we'll see you on the next one.